Many of us get the message that our emotions are not okay. If we are angry, we are told to calm down. If we are sad, we are told to get over it. So, we end up repressing our emotions or pushing them away, making us feel inauthentic, unmotivated, depressed, or worse. But our emotions are ubiquitous to life. They can exist together or distinctly, continuously or periodically, intensely or mildly. Daniel Goleman famously said, "In a very real sense, we have two minds, one that thinks and one that feels." But many of us have been taught to ignore our sense of feeling and focus more so on our thoughts. This can impair us tremendously, leaving us incapable of connecting in a healthy way with others, understanding the wants and needs of ourselves and others, and for becoming productive contributors to our communities. Our emotions give us important clues to how we are experiencing the world. They help us make decisions, build good relationships, fulfill our dreams, and cultivate well-being. Research shows that emotional intelligence is predictive of really important life outcomes. People with higher emotional intelligence tend to have greater psychological health, less anxiety, and less depression, and are less burned out at work. They tend to make better decisions in life. They tend to have better quality relationships, tend to perform better academically and in the workplace. The widespread societal suppression of emotions in the U.S. does damage to our communities, particularly in schools and in the office. The number of incidents of bullying and harassment in the U.S. K-12 schools reported to Anti-Defamation League doubled each year between 2015 to 2017. Additionally, according to a 2014 Gallup poll, 46% of teachers report high daily stress during the school year. From 2016 to 2017, more than 1 in 3 students across 196 U.S. college campuses reported diagnosed mental health conditions. Some campuses have reported a 30% increase in mental health problems per year. A 2018 Gallup poll revealed that over 50% of employees are unengaged at work. 13% of those are miserable. This issue is not specific to the U.S. It is, in fact, a global issue. According to the 2019 World Happiness Report, negative feelings including worry, sadness, and anger have been rising around the world. Additionally, worldwide mental health problems could cost the global economy up to $16 trillion by 2030. These numbers are startling. So, what can be done to cure our collective inability to have healthy relationships with our emotions? Enter Mark Brackett. Mark Brackett is a professor at Yale University's Child's Study Center and the founding director of the Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence. He has spent the past 25 years studying emotions, leading large research teams, and raising millions of dollars to investigate the roots of emotional well-being. In 2019, he released a collection of his findings in his book, Permission to Feel, chronicling his personal journey in understanding emotions and presenting an evidence-based approach to managing our emotions. In the book, he makes the case that our feelings aren't impediments, but provide important information that can change our lives for the better when we give ourselves the permission to feel. Brackett's personal journey with emotional intelligence is particularly compelling. As a child, he was severely bullied, developed an eating disorder, and was sexually abused by a neighbor. Instead of receiving support from his parents and peers, he was told to keep his feelings to himself. So how did he get to where he is today? Mark was lucky to have one relative who took care of his emotional needs, his Uncle Marvin. Marvin was a school teacher who back in the 1970s was attempting to create a curriculum that would encourage students to express how they felt. He believed that emotion skills were the missing link in their education. Marvin not only helped Mark understand that his emotional needs were not being met, he became a lifelong mentor to him. Over the years, they collaborated to build the first Feeling Words curriculum for schools. Mark has continued his work in this field ever since. His approach to emotional intelligence, called the Ruler Method, stands for recognizing, understanding, labeling, expressing, and regulating emotion. It's a high-impact and fast-effect approach to understanding and mastering emotions. Brackett and his team have implemented the Ruler Method at thousands of schools. Brackett's vision is simple: to reach as many people as possible, to help them learn how to become emotion scientists so that we can all be healthier and happier. An emotion scientist is someone who asks really good questions to ensure that they understand their own feelings as well as other people's feelings. An emotion scientist looks for themes and tries to understand what's behind people's behavior or inability to regulate emotions. An emotion judge, on the other hand, attempts to evaluate feelings and deem them good or bad, useful or harmful, grounded in reality or a figment of the imagination. An emotion judge wants the power to validate feelings or negate them, to pass judgment. Back to Brackett's vision: to reach as many people as possible, to help them learn how to become emotion scientists so that we can all be healthier and happier. How can Dr. Brackett achieve such a lofty goal? So far, his strategy to implement this change at scale follows the change continuum model. The change continuum model shows the step-by-step process by which people become committed to a new way of operating. The continuum has 7 stages, from contact all the way to internalization. The contact stage is individuals' first encounter with the ideas behind a change initiative. The goal of this stage for a change agent is to bring awareness to the issue. For Brackett, the contact stage occurs every time he steps into a school for a presentation or someone opens his book. The awareness stage occurs when individuals realize that change is possible. The change agent must get their message across clearly, but this does not necessarily mean everyone understands how the change will affect them. For Brackett, this stage occurs when he tells his personal journey with emotional intelligence and unveils the research and philosophy behind the ruler method. The understanding stage occurs when people show some degree of comprehension of the nature and intent of the change and what it may mean for them. Individuals learn about the initiative and the role they are likely to play. For Brackett, this stage occurs when he details the steps of the ruler method, provides a blueprint for how it can be used in schools and in people's personal lives. The positive perception stage occurs when people form intentions to support or oppose the change. This is not done in isolation. They typically weigh the costs and benefits of the change versus other alternatives, including doing nothing. For Brackett, this stage occurs after his presentations when he answers questions, gets feedback, and actively tries to persuade. The adoption stage occurs when individuals have successfully navigated the initial trial period. For Brackett, this occurs when teachers in schools try the ruler method in their classrooms and when individuals try the ruler method in their personal lives. The institutionalization stage occurs when people no longer view the change as tentative. It is now the norm. For Brackett, this occurs when school districts officially integrate the ruler method in their classrooms, and when individuals unconsciously use learnings from the ruler method in their daily lives, at home, in the office, and out in the world. The internalization stage represents the highest level of commitment an individual can demonstrate to a change initiative. It reflects an internal motivation in which individual beliefs and desires are aligned with the change effort, and they become change agents themselves, propelling the change forward. For Brackett, this occurs when those who he has taught emotion skills become brand ambassadors, actively spreading his teachings and recruiting more schools to adopt the ruler method and more individuals to become emotion scientists. Of course, this does not come without its challenges. What Brackett is attempting is essentially an emotion revolution, challenging our embedded beliefs about emotions in a general sense, but also asking for widespread societal change. Focusing on children and implementing his program in schools is a great place to start, but it is a slow process. He and his team have implemented the program in thousands of schools, but tens of thousands of schools remain, and he is but one man. Perhaps his biggest obstacle is building a coalition powerful enough to drive this change forward with great speed and vigor. He needs thousands of people to go through the change continuum model, internalizing the change and becoming advocates and change agents themselves. Brackett has also been met with great resistance at times. In schools, complacent principals and other school officials can be extremely uncomfortable and resistant to addressing emotions in their schools. Brackett feels strongly that his vision can become a reality, and he is well on his way. He says, "Emotion skills are the key to unlocking the potential inside each one of us, and that it's not easy to change a whole society, but we have to try."